This is the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He's holding a joint press conference, so the way these ones work, the Malaysian Prime Minister will speak after him and then a couple of questions from the media. Let's go there now live.
Also pay dividends for both our nations. Today, Prime Minister Anwar and I agreed to deepen partnerships between our universities and other vocational training institutions through a new Memorandum of Understanding on higher education. I'm also pleased to announce today our new Memorandum of Understanding on youth and sport, which will provide great opportunities for the next generation of Australian and Malaysian young sports people to train and develop side by side. As two of the region's democracies, I am proud that Australia is supporting Prime Minister Anwar's institutional reform agenda through the Australia-Malaysia Institutional Strengthening Program. This is already working to strengthen government transparency and integrity. Our extensive defence cooperation, underpinned by our membership of the 5 Power Defence Arrangements and the Malaysia-Australia Joint Defence Program, was high on today's agenda. We also announced an MOU on the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty to enable data sharing and capacity building in nuclear non-proliferation between our two countries. The Prime Minister and I also discussed our joint commitment to better manage cyber threats. Going forwards, Australia and Malaysia will be able to engage in more comprehensive information sharing and cyber skills development, and we will work closely together on immigration and border issues. I'm delighted Prime Minister Anwar will join ASEAN leaders and myself at the special summit for the 50th anniversary of Australia-ASEAN dialogue relations in Melbourne here this week. Australia's security and prosperity are intertwined with those of Southeast Asia. This is why deepening Australia's partnerships in Southeast Asia remains high on the government's agenda. If Australia and Malaysia work more closely together, building on our long history of cooperation and trust for one another, we can shape the kind of region that we both seek, and the friendship between our two countries will only reach new heights. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, colleagues, may I, on behalf of the Malaysian delegation, express my profound gratitude and thanks for the wonderful hospitality accorded to us and the delegation throughout our stay and during the ASEAN summit with Australia. As you have said, the long-standing relations between Malaysia and Australia goes back pre-war, and the enormous contribution of the Australian Armed Forces is something which we have considered one of the great pillars in terms of strengthening our security and securing our ultimate independence. Now we have entered the new phase of comprehensive strategic partnership, and we have agreed to the efforts of our various government officials and ministries on the issues of trade and investment, education, youth, sports, digital economy, and cybersecurity. And I have added my strong support for efforts to strengthen institutions and governance, to render meaning and force to democratic transition in our country, in our societies. We also took the opportunity to again strengthen bilateral trade growth, because Australia remains our 10th largest trading partner, and the interest by investors and companies, Australian companies into Malaysia seems to be growing. This shows the sign of confidence they have in Malaysia, and I must express again my thanks. We again reaffirmed our commitment to intensify existing cooperation, including some very specific areas like vaccine ecosystem and also clean energy transition. But the issue of higher education in Tibet is, of course, a priority for us because we have benefited immensely from our exposure to the students, to the education system here. And I, for one, personally, very, very excited with the interest of many of the universities to expand their programs into Malaysia other than our continued sending students to Australia. Defense and security cooperation is also critical. Maritime cooperation, joint defense program, countering terrorism, transnational crime, as well as cybersecurity. We discuss and exchange views on various regional and international issues. Of course, Russian aggression in Ukraine, and also Palestinian-Israeli crisis. And on behalf of the Malaysian government, we express our appreciation to the decision taken by Australian government to support the call for ceasefire and to enhance and increase humanitarian efforts into Gaza. The 4 MOUs is, of course, a remarkable milestone in charting a more progressive future, and it underscores the substantive success and outcome of our meetings. We will certainly encourage more exchange and visits of leaders, private sector, students and youth, and sports. Some of the more outstanding sportsmen and women are right now being trained in Australia. So if they secure some achievements in the Olympics, we'll give some credit to Australia.
Thank you.
And so again, Prime Minister Albanese, thank you again for this great welcoming and hospitality accorded to us. And we will look forward to your visit to Malaysia very soon. God willing, we say, inshallah.
Indeed. Well, you honour us with your presence here, Prime Minister.